I'm Dana Sowen, President of Friends of the Smokies. I fell in love with Great Smoky Mountains National Park 35 years ago, and I've been helping care for it ever since. Through my role with the National Park Service for more than 30 years, and now serving at Friends of the Smokies. What I love most about leading Friends of the Smokies is connecting people's generosity to the preservation of these mountains. Whatever you love most about the Smokies, whether it's historic preservation, the trails, wildlife protection, or helping people in need, the Friends of the Smokies have played a part in supporting those programs through the generosity of our donors and our supporters. Every gift, every volunteer, every supporter is making a difference today that is ensuring that these mountains are going to be full of wonder and here to enjoy for future generations. That's what Friends of the Smokies is all about. If you love the mountains, then I invite you to learn more about Friends of the Smokies and the impact that together we're making in the mountains. I invite you to join us as we grow together this body of support that will help protect these mountains for future generations. I am so excited about taking you on this journey behind the scenes to see firsthand some of the projects and programs that Friends of the Smokies have been supporting over the years. Great Smoky Mountains National Park protects the biggest collection of historic structures anywhere in the country. These are priceless treasures. It takes a lot of care to upkeep these historic log cabins. They're irreplaceable treasures, but they're out in the elements all the time, so there's constant weathering. Thanks to the Forever Places program with Friends of the Smokies, we've been able to invest in helping preserve these historic structures. When you come into Cades Cove, one of the first historic structures you're going to experience is the John Oliver Cabin. It's the oldest historic structure in the national park. Through the support of Friends of the Smokies donors, we were able to make it now accessible for everybody in your group. There's a nice handicapped accessible trail that leads you from the parking lot directly to the cabin along a half-mile paved trail so that everybody has the same experience to be able to interact with this historic place. Taking care of America's most biodiverse national park is an awesome responsibility. And one of the most special habitats in the entire national park are the meadows of Cades Cove. Friends of the Smokies has been able to help support their long-term preservation over the last several years. And that means more diversity in the meadows to support the amount of wildlife that thrives there. That's everything from the small creatures of life to the iconic black bears that when you're in Cades Cove, you may have a chance to experience. At the Elijah Oliver cabin, we were able to re-roof the main log cabin and also the spring house and replace some of the wood that was starting to decay after years of weathering. These historic structures are truly a window into the past, and it reminds us what it was like to be a mountain settler trying to carve a life in these mountains. One of the most popular trails to experience in Cades Cove is the Abrams Falls Trail. Through our Trails Forever program, Friends of the Smokies was able to fully restore it so that everybody now has a much safer experience. It's a 2.5-mile trail that takes you to one of the most stunning waterfalls in the park. And along the way, you'll be able to experience Abrams Creek following you all the way to the falls. As a part of your visit to Cades Cove, make sure you stop at the halfway point at Cable Mill Visitor Center. Friends of the Smokies supports the cultural demonstrations that take place there throughout the year. There's always something special happening. It may be a blacksmithing demonstration, it might be sorghum making if you're there in the fall, or it might be just some traditional Appalachian music played on the front porch. There's a restored mill there. There's also a house there, the Becky Cable House, a barn, and lots of other structures. But the heart of that community was Cable Mill itself. Friends of the Smokies was able to help restore both the mill over the last several years, but importantly, the log flume that brings the water into the mill itself. As you reach the backside of Cades Cove Loop, you're also going to get to experience one of the structures that the Friends of the Smokies helped support the rehabilitation of, the Dan Lawson Cabin. 2 years ago, the Friends of the Smokies helped support re-roofing the cabin and also replacing some of the historic siding. One of the most interesting ways to experience Cades Cove is to do it when the road is actually closed to motor vehicles. You can do that all day long on Wednesdays by bicycle. From sunrise all the way until sunset, you can either walk the loop or you can ride a bicycle around the 11 miles. And Friends of the Smokies was able to help fund the volunteer program who's out there on e-bikes every Wednesday to help make sure that visitors stay safe and are there to help anybody in need. As you travel Cades Cove Loop Road, you'll have a couple of opportunities to help support Friends of the Smokies and the programs and projects you love most about Cades Cove. When you see a donation box, every gift is making an impact to help preserve this special place. Thank you for visiting Cades Cove with us today, and thank you for being a friend.